Mr. President, it's great to be back with you again. The massive Sinclair audience appreciates your time. The New York Times, when the announcement was made by Joe Biden for his pick for vice president, said, quote, breaking news, Senator Kamala Harris, of California, is Joe Biden's pick for VP a pragmatic moderate. What say you?
The New York Times is fake news. Everybody knows that. She is a disaster. She's going to be a disaster, I think, for their party. She started off strong. She was one of the favorites, and within a very short period of time, she never even got to the primary. She left before they started. She was down to 2% and less. There's a reason for that. That's like an accurate poll. That's the ultimate accurate poll, as opposed to fake polls and suppression polls. Look, she wants to no energy. She wants to destroy we're independent now in energy, first time. We have millions and millions of energy jobs. She wants no fracking. That kills Pennsylvania. It kills Texas. It kills any state almost any state you can think of. It kills our country because we'll be paying 3, 4, 5 times more for electricity, if you can even get electricity. So she's not into fracking. She wants to raise your taxes. She wants to increase regulations. She wants to drive businesses out. The whole thing is crazy. She is super liberal. I heard, actually, she's the most liberal person in all of Congress. That's what I've heard. More liberal than Bernie Sanders, believe it or not.
She, at one point, compared ICE agents to the KKK.
Yeah, it's terrible.
How does Joe Biden square that if he's going after the African-American vote?
Well, the ICE agents, I have to tell you, have done what a job they've done. And you wouldn't want the job, and I wouldn't want the job. I have to be honest with you. That's a tough job. We've taken thousands and thousands of MS-13 out of this country, killers, gang members, and other gang members. We've taken thousands of terrible rapists and murderers and people out of this country, and they disrespect ICE. They're tough because they have to be. If you had that job, you have to be tough. You cannot be a weak person, that I can tell you. But we've taken some of the greatest killers of the world out of this country and brought them back where they came from. And, you know, the border wall, you and I have been discussing it for a long time. The border wall is up to 280 miles now. And everywhere it goes, we stop people called, you can't get in. And the only way you come into our country is coming in legally. You know, we've made so much progress. But Border Patrol and ICE, people have to respect them. And they have to respect law enforcement. And they have to give law enforcement back their strength, back their teeth, back their power to protect people. They've taken that power away in New York. New York City crime is up at a level that nobody's ever seen before. If you look at Chicago, I don't even have to tell you to look at it. You see it every day, what's going on. Look at Portland, where you have anarchists. These are all Democrat-run cities. And frankly, if Biden would win, our whole country would be like that. And you would have a stock market crash, the likes of which you've never seen before. You'd lose your jobs. Your 401ks would be worthless. And everybody knows it. You know, we're getting ready to set new stock market records, believe it or not, even though the pandemic isn't finished yet, but it will be. I've been saying it will be. We're doing well with vaccines. We're doing well with therapeutics. But we're ready now to see, it could be, think of it, would you believe that we are almost at the highest stock market price ever? And NASDAQ is actually the highest.
New high, as we speak. Brand new record high.
It's been great.
I'm personally blown away. I spent 15 years in the business community. First 5 years of my career analyzing business at Fox Business and CNBC, and I never saw this coming. I didn't see a market recover like this and see that happening. I do see, Mr. President, let me ask you this.
By the way, $9 trillion we recovered.
But I do see a lot of businesses like Pier 1 Imports going belly up, Neiman Marcus going belly up, Lord & Taylor going belly up. Meanwhile, some of the stocks prices are going higher. Is there a bifurcation of what stocks are doing versus what the bigger economy is doing?
Well, a lot of the stores that you see go out is because of the internet. The internet has been very unfair to traditional stores, frankly, with taxes. They have tax advantages and they have other things, and they've been very unfair. So a lot of that you see is with that. But when you look at the Miracle Mile, when you look at what's going on in Chicago, where they're going and breaking the windows, the mayor has lost control of Chicago. And she's got great police in Chicago. They could do it themselves. And we would do it if they asked us to come in. We would stop it like we did in Minneapolis when that place was burning down to the ground. And the National Guard went in and did a phenomenal job. In 2 hours, that whole thing was quelled. It was stopped.
what happened in Portland? So Portland was having problems. You came in. They blamed you for the continuation of violence because of the federal officers on the ground in Portland. So you made a deal with the governor. You said, if I move out, you move your troops in, your police forces in. They did, and the violence continues. What happened?
Well, they blamed us falsely. They know that. We have a very expensive, very beautiful courthouse, and the city was not willing to protect it. And we heard that, so we sent 400 troops or police officers, Homeland Security, to the site to protect it. We protected it perfectly and very easily. This is a strong group of people. These anarchists are nothing by comparison. But our sole job was to protect the courthouse, which we did. We still have them there. They keep saying they left, but we still have them there. But all they do is they protect the courthouse. We have to. Because if we weren't there, they would have burned down the courthouse. Now we say to Oregon, and we say to the mayor of Portland, who's a horror show. I mean, he thinks he's friends with these people. Every time he goes near them, they want to rip him apart. But we said to the mayor, protect our courthouse, and we leave. When they thought we left, we didn't trust them. When they thought we left, they said, oh, everything's going to be quiet now. No, it got worse. Because once we left, the strength left. Once they thought we left. Now, we'll go in there with the National Guard. We could clean it up in 2 seconds. But the governor, who's very weak, and the mayor, who's very weak, don't ask us to go in. But they shouldn't even have to ask us because they have 10,000 law enforcement people. You know that. And they're great people. They're great people. They can do it themselves. But they choose not to do it. This is a liberal ideology, like probably Venezuela, like other places that have failed. And they would not mind having the whole country be like a Portland. What people don't realize is they're all Democrat-run cities. They're all liberally run, like Chicago. For decades, for years, many years. Republican-run cities are doing better than they've ever done before. We're doing incredibly. Democrat-run cities, this liberal ideology is a disaster. And this is what they want the whole country to be.
Let me ask you this, Mr. President. In your State of the Union address in 2019, you said socialism will never be in America. America will never be a socialist country. What are you doing to ensure that doesn't happen?
I have to win the election because Kamala's a socialist. Biden's been brought, look, Biden, you know Biden, he's shot. He's been brought over. I guess he's a socialist. He doesn't, if you asked him what does socialism mean, he wouldn't give you an answer. He has no clue. But she's really going to be running, and she's the worst in the Senate. She was the nastiest of anybody in the Senate. She was the worst, meanest person to Judge Kavanaugh, who became Justice Kavanaugh. I've never seen anything like it. She was worse than anybody else. And again, she's not a person that's liked. I think people will fall out of love with her very quickly, very quickly. She campaigned very hard, and every time people heard her open her mouth, she went down. And we have a great Vice President, Mike Pence. There's nobody that's done a better job than him.
No thoughts of replacing Mike Pence?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't get the question. It's the first time I've had that question, actually, I think. No, I have such confidence in Mike Pence. He's been great. People love him.
Want to have a little fun? Let's talk football. Okay. The Pac-10, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 have both decided to cancel their seasons. The mighty SEC has not decided yet. What say you to the SEC? And also, let's take note that Trevor Lawrence, probably the best player in college football, says it's dangerous not to play football because when you're playing football, you're in a controlled environment. When you're not, you don't know where the players are headed. So what are your thoughts on?
I spoke to Trevor yesterday. He's a really smart guy, great player, really good guy too. And he is so right. He is so right. He wants to play football. They all want to play football. And these people that aren't allowing them to play are doing a tremendous disservice. Tremendous disservice. My answer, play football. They're also young, strong people. If they would get hit, they're going to be fine. They're going to be great. But they won't even get hit. But if they did, they'll be just fine. Play football.
What about the NFL?
Well, you have to understand, I'm mixed in one sense. I want them to play. I'm with them all the way. We've helped them. We've gone all out for them. But if I see them not standing and saluting and standing and really respecting our American flag, if I see them not standing for our national anthem, I won't be watching. And you know what? A lot of other people agree with me.
Where did you ever think you'd be sitting in a chair as President of the United States saying, you better stand for the national anthem, you better respect your flag?
No, and I thought we won this battle. I had this battle 2 years ago with the NFL, and their ratings went down 25%. Their crowds stopped coming. I mean, they had empty seats all over the place. I thought this was over. And then Roger Goodell from his basement, like Biden, in a blue T-shirt as opposed to a suit. He looks much more handsome in a suit. But Roger Goodell got out and made the statement in August or July, out of nowhere, talking about this whole thing that he's doing. He's going to kill football. People aren't going to watch. You know what? If I see people kneeling during our national anthem, if I see people not respecting our country, which is represented by our flag, I will not watch a game. I don't have that kind of interest that I'm going to watch a game. A lot of other people will agree with me. And I had this out with him once before, and we won. And they went back, and you had to stand. And you know, in their contracts, they have to stand with their hand on their heart. I don't know if you know that. They have contracts where you stand with. They never wanted to invoke the contract. But they have language in there where you have to stand. They never wanted to invoke it. If they don't stand for our national anthem and respect our flag and our country, there's plenty of places they can protest. They can go anywhere they want. They can go after the game. They can go before the game. But they can't protest during our national anthem. They make millions and millions of dollars. They've got a great life. Think of it. They make millions of dollars to play a sport that if they made nothing, they'd be playing over the weekends for fun. Their life is not bad, and they have to respect our country.
Mr. President, as always, I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.